literally working as he was typing. I wouldn't be surprised right now, even though he's talking to us on his other screen, he has work going on. Help, see, I told you, I knew it. This man does not stop. He wants to make sure your business is taken care of. But in order to do that, it had to start somewhere. So what got you into accounting and finances and everything?
So that's probably like a two-pronged answer. So the serious part would be my grandma was an accountant, even though I didn't know that at the time, but she was an accountant for the city of Atlanta. Shout out to my grandma. Grandma, I love you. She doing taxes right now too, by the way. And then now here's the funny part. So my best friend, whose name actually Eric Griffin, today is his birthday, so shout out to him. But his parents used to stay right across from my high school. We went to Brookwood High School. And every time I used to go to their house, you know, they had a lovely house. And, you know, they always be like, y'all go down to the basement. So we go down there, and in their refrigerator, to me, maybe they didn't, but they always had a whole bunch of bottled waters and a whole bunch of Gatorades. So, you know, my 16, 17-year-old self, I'm like, man, they rich. Every time I come over here, they got a refrigerator full of Gatorade. So, you know, we getting closer to the end of senior year, and I'm like, well, what do y'all do? You know? And they used to have checks on the refrigerator that were huge. I'm like, what do y'all do? And they was like, well, we do accounting. So I'm like, well, what is that? And so they explained. I was like, well, I'm good at math. You know, I'm in calculus, you know. I think, you know, AP out, you know, whatever that last senior course was. And so they was like, well, you should be good to go. So when I went to college, shout out to Valdosta State University, go Blazers. Went down there, started doing it, and then double majored in finance to kind of give me that background. Went right back and got my master's. And then while I was getting my master's, started working at an accounting firm down there called Valenti Rackley and Associates. And they pretty much gave me my foundation. And I'll tell anybody that to this day. They're about an 8-person office. And, you know, we just grinded it out. You know, we were doing accounting, we were doing the taxes, and we were doing auditing as well. So I got to see every single side. I got to see if you get audited, this is what they look for. On the day-to-day and week-to-week basis, this is what their accounting looks like. And then finally, when it's tax season, this is how it kind of all ties together. So that's pretty much how I got started. Everybody just laughs so hard when I tell them that story. But I'm like, that's the only reason I got into it.
Man, I was sitting there. I had to compose some of my laughter, especially when you said it was Grandma that got it started. Thank you, Grandma. What many people don't understand is when it comes to a gift and living in your purpose, sometimes the people that are already helping you are setting the way in the path for you. Like your grandma being able to do taxes, she left footsteps for you to walk into. And then
I
when
didn't know she did taxes back then. I just knew, like, you know, I go to my grandmama's house, and, you know, we always would make cookies, or she give me some ice cream. You know, she was always cooking something good. So that's all I know. I didn't even know she was an accountant until probably around that same time frame. And I was like, really? You was an accountant that whole time? I had no idea.
It's funny you say that, because even though you didn't know, and you know this part because you got kids, and I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
It's parents, including our grandparents, we drop little seeds and nuggets into our loved ones. So grandma was dropping nuggets on you. You probably weren't catching them, but they were getting embedded to where when you went to your friend's house and you got open that refrigerator and you saw that Gatorade, because I know I'm like you. I'm a little older probably. I grew up in that era where you had to go get the Tang and take that little scoop of orange Tang and make that was close to getting the Gatorade. It
was already ready for you. You had to take it off the plastic circles and just get to drinking. So, you know, I'm like, well, they are rich.
Like, man, man, the closest I got to Gatorade back in the day was sports, when coach used to dump the powder in the 5-gallon jug. When you walk in your
ball, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you walk into your friend and it all was the same flavor, yellow. I'm not saying lemon, it was yellow. But you walk into your friend's house and they got all this Gatorade, and that made you want to dive deeper. And so now you're actually doing it. And you just said something that I don't know a lot of people caught when you say that you are doing taxes right now and your grandma is over there doing taxes as well. And even though you do accounting, you're focused on taxes, and you're saying they're in tax season. In many of our minds, tax season ended like back in April. We're like, what are you talking about? You're still doing taxes. Can you explain to the people, because we all trying to make money and keep this money. Can you explain to people how this taxes work and that the season just doesn't end on the deadline in April?
Okay, cool. So this is what I tell a lot of people. So mind you, I'm on sales calls all throughout the week, every week. And so a lot of times you have to paint the foundation, because a lot of people just know kind of like the buzzwords, right? They know CPA, they know I'm supposed to pay my taxes, and they know if I'm a business, I'm supposed to make as much money as I can. Those are like the three, like just most random things. It's a lot of stuff that happens in between. So what happens is you have your business year, of course, January to December 31st. So once that's over, a great accountant, I know plenty, I feel like I myself am one. In January of that next year, they should sit you down, or at least it's 2021. So a Zoom call, a phone call, and have sent everything to you to say, hey, this is what happened the whole entire year. Are you aware? A, is this correct? B, do we need to add anything? Do you think you forgot anything? Do we need to move or add categories? What do we need to do? Once that's finalized, then part two of that, if you have contractors, maybe that's doing 1099s. If you have employees, that's making sure that W-2s are sent out and submitted by January 31st. So now, come February, if you're a business owner, your stuff is already done. All I need from you are your personal items, your mortgage interest, any W-2s if you had other jobs, any other 1099s from people. This is where you're getting like your church statements, your 1099 dividends or 1099 retirements, all those different forms. We're going to take that, and then from February till it used to be April 15th, but ever since the pandemic started, the date just keeps changing. We're going to pray that for 2022 is going to be on April 15th. But April 15th comes, from then to February, I mean, we're slammed. February is typically a little lighter because people are just kind of getting everything. But once about March 15th hits, from there, literally until the day of the deadline, it's crazy. People are, hey, I forgot, or whatever that case is. So there's that. Now, if you are a business owner, some of your deadlines may be different. So if you're an S Corp or a partnership, your deadline is actually March 15th for your business return only. So that's filed on March the 15th. Your personal is due on April the 15th. Okay. If you're a C Corp, your is due with the personals on April the 15th. Now, if you are like, man, because we get this too, I don't have all my stuff together, or I'm still missing stuff, people still owe me 1099s, or I never got whatever, then you can file an extension. We tell people all the time, when you file this extension, it's an extension to file, not an extension to pay. Hypothetically, you're supposed to be sending in a payment with that extension of that's kind of tricky. So we'll just say you need to send in a payment, something with it. Most people don't. So if you don't, it's not the end of the world. Most people don't. Now you get 6 months. So March, you get all the way to September 15th. So that was last month. If you did April, now you get all the way till tomorrow, which is October 15th. So in the meantime, when you file that extension, in a perfect world for us accountants, tax preparers, you just go ahead and get your stuff like you're working on and get it to us. What really happens is most people wait till last week and this week, and they're like, oh, I just remembered. Having to go through like, hey, where's this? Where's that? Are you sure? I need you to stay by your phone. So that way we can get it in by that deadline. And then, of course, on those deadline days, it has to be postmarked with the current date.
Okay.
By the time that bank closes. So I mean the post office. So tomorrow, if your post office closes at 5:30, and they'll say, hey, mail's not going out after 5:30. If it's 6 o'clock and they're like, oh, we're gonna put this for tomorrow, it's late. So you need to try to get in there as early as possible, noon time, 10, 11, 12, because once it hits 3 o'clock on a Friday, it's game over. Now, if you have somebody like us who can do it digitally, You kind of have a little bit more leeway, but you basically need to think by 6 p.m. it needs to be done, finished, and approved. So that's the long way of trying to educate you from start to finish of accounting, the review, the taxes, and what extensions look like.
Wow. You just dropped some things that me personally, I didn't even know. And the advice that you're giving, I'm talking about the viewers are loving it. Like Elvin Meniz, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for watching. He just said give him some more tang, extra sugary. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows about that tang. And then he was just wanted to let you know that the advice and hints that you have for those are everyone that's out there and the landlords. Like, do you have something for those individuals? Because you know you spoke on the business with the S corps and the personal finances, but when it comes to like landlords, first time landlords, what advice do you have for them when it comes to those like paying their taxes and all that? How does that work for them?
Now, when you say landlord, are we talking like, are you renting properties, I'm guessing, or
Yes.
renting out just a rental house, or you're managing properties?
No, a person that is actually renting out properties. They have their own homes that they're renting out, a rental home per se.
They on the same, nothing changes. So they're on those same two deadlines. If they're an S corp or a partnership, March 15th is due or extend. Or if they're just an LLC or a sole proprietor, they're on that April 15th deadline. It doesn't really matter necessarily what industry you're in. Your deadlines in terms of filing taxes are always going to file on either that March 15th or April 15th. Or now, of course, if it's a pandemic, they moved it to May or June. But you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, just because you're a landlord or an accountant or a marketing agency or a real estate agent, your date, you don't get it. It's not an industry specific date. It's everybody who's in S corp. Your stuff is due March 15th. Period. End of story.
And that's the same. What about like LLCs? Do they fall under the same thing as S corp, or does that fall under personal?
So LLCs, and I didn't specify. I'm sorry. So S corps and partnerships, March 15th. LLCs, the regular people, sole proprietors, and C corps are all April 15th.
Okay. That makes sense. And again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Lee Rose, Debbie, we appreciate you for tuning in as well. And one of the questions that I seen come up, and I had for myself, because I was in the military, so it was just nothing for us to go e-file because everything was just follow the box number 1, 2, 3. So most people just e-file. So what's the difference between just e-filing and coming to you for your services? What's the benefit? What makes it better, coming to you, or should a person just e-file?
Okay, so we e-file. The difference is, of course, I tell people like this, and I always tell them this is not disrespectful at all, but literally tax law changes every single year. And especially since the pandemic has started, you got to think we had one president and we just switched to another one.
Exactly.
The last president, which was President Trump, he literally did the biggest tax law changes since like Ronald Reagan. So like 30 years, basically since I've been born. So with that being said, unless you have something that's super basic, and when I say super basic, me and all my friends would say, if you're single and you have one W-2, that's super basic. Go ahead, do it. The minute you say I'm a contractor, or I own my own business, or I own my own side business, or I'm in real estate, I would strongly times infinity advise you don't play with it, because you don't know what we know. I can tell you this because I'm literally doing them right here. I've been doing them all year, etc. The average person just doesn't know all of the deductions. And on top of that, they're being reactive versus we're being proactive. A great accountant or a great CPA, if they're doing their job like they should, you're going to already be aware come tax time what's going on. Versus if you just come to us on October the 10th, like there's nothing I can do outside of the basics. I can't get creative. I can't use all of our different strategies because it's too late and it's already past the end of the year anyway. So I say all that to say, if you're super basic, you go right on ahead. But if you tell me, oh, I own a business, I can tell you for a fact you don't have everything even categorized correctly or in one document. And then of course you don't know what counts and what doesn't.
So I don't know if everybody caught
Respectfully.
respectfully. I don't know if everybody caught exactly what Cam was saying. When you have a gift and you're using that gift to live in your purpose, it's not your job to try to duplicate somebody else's gift and do their purpose. My gift is not taxes. My gift is not accounting. I can't make my gift all of a sudden make me a great tax write-off. I can't make my gift all of a sudden make my accounting make me save money and make money. You have to reach out and network with others in order for your gift to not just keep growing, but for you to live in your purpose, to have people walk in your shoes. The same way Cam walked in his grandmother's shoes, the same way Cam learned about his friends when they opened up the refrigerator and got that good Gatorade because he thought they were rich. It led it down that purpose of him going to college and honing his gift, because one of the biggest things with your gift is education. And the education piece does not just mean you have to do the educating for yourself. Sometimes it's you reaching out to somebody else that has the education that you desire, the education for the information that you need help with, so that you can get help, not just with your gift, but living in your purpose. Now Cam, you said something. You said this happens year in and year out, last minute, people just dropping stuff on you. The laws keep changing. What about you makes you stick with this, that you've been doing it for 10 years? Yeah, I told you I'm gonna pull everything out of you. I want to know.
I don't know. So for me, my wife would tell you that she feels like numbers just work for me, and they do. But the main thing I've seen is helping people. Our firm is a little different, I would say, in that we really try to go the extra mile to educate people. There are some firms out there, they're just like, we're going to do it. We'll tell you when it's done. That's cool. But at least with the people that God has blessed me to have, the real value has been, oh, I didn't know all of this. So from start to finish, this is what it looks like. When we end up, they are armed and equipped now to go forward for the next year to hopefully be better, assuming they listen, of course. But I mean, for me, my main thing is, how do I help and serve others? And I just feel like in this case, God gave me that understanding for numbers and accounting. And I feel like because I kind of grew up in with a diverse background, I'm able to communicate effectively to any and everybody. So I'm able, or at least I've been told, I try my best to word it in a way that's easy to understand, is simple to understand, no matter what age, color, whatever you look like. So that's what we've been told. We make it sound a lot easier and a lot more simple than what it actually is.
So I'm not finna let you talk through that like you didn't just drop some jewels that I don't want people to miss. You said that the numbers just come easy to you. And what I want everybody to understand, that I don't want them to miss, your gift is something that is easy for you to do that potentially is normally hard for somebody else to do. That's the first sign that you got a God-given gift, a God-given talent, because it's easy for you and it's hard for everybody else. But the way that God wants you to live in your purpose is he didn't give you that gift to keep to yourself. And Cam said it best. He wants to be a servant to the people. He's using the gift that he has and lives in his purpose by giving back, by sharing it with others. Not just doing like most companies. We've all dealt with them. They just be like, all right, we take all your stuff, we take your money, and we just let you know when we're done with it. No, he takes the time to not just help you with your businesses, your taxes, your accounting, but he teaches you, him and his wife and his company, they teach you in the process. Because the thing with a gift, it's not just for you to keep, it's for you to share and help others understand and teach them in the process. And you said you and your wife, Cam, what many people don't know, you and your wife are actually in business together. Is that correct?
Right. So my wife, she's the one, when you kind of see like our pictures, our posts that actually look fancy, That's her. She's the creative one between the two of us. I'm the numbers and math guy. So, if ever you see any kind of post or like fancy flash across the screen type thing, that's her thing. I always just delegate that to her. She's the one who did our logo. So, you gotta be able to delegate because my stuff would look, it did look very, very. I was that kid, in high school you did group projects. I was the kid who I had like all the stuff on the poster. So you
Uh-huh.
would get like an A+ for the info, but it would be on a whiteboard and I just put like circles on the corners. He was the one that was like had the sprinkles and the flowers and all kind of stuff. That's not me.
So what you just I'm sorry, it called me because that's amazing how your wife takes her gift of what she does, you take your gift of what you do, and those gifts work together to not just build for your family, but you're leaving a legacy for your daughters. And that just goes to show you, people have this thing where they believe that their gift is like to go down one particular lane. Like you just said with the art and the drawing, like you would think your wife would be running out there being an artist, or you would think you would be a financial advisor or a teacher for somebody, which you are teaching your people. But you could take gifts and merge them together and follow the same path of perfection, as I would say, because you and your wife are building something, and I'm proud of y'all for doing that. Now, many people don't know, I kind of let it out a little bit with your kids and everything. Can you explain to everybody the name of you and your wife's business and how you all came up with that name?
Sure. So as we said, the name of the company is called Kinley Accounting. And that name just came from my daughters. My oldest name is Kendall with a K-Y-N. And then Callie is the younger of the two. And so her name, C-A-L-I, you take the L-I, you take the K-Y-N, you got Kinley. And of course, we do accounting. So that's what it was.
Man, not only did you and your wife merge together a business, you merged your daughter's names together to even name the business. So can you imagine how much you are changing the dynamics of the generations that come behind you? So when you're thinking about your gift, it does no good if when you go, because let's be honest, the day is going to come when God calls us all home. When it's time for you to go, it does no good if your gift gets buried with you. My friend Corey Fox has this saying about bankrupting the cemetery, because there's so many ideas and gifts and everything that people took to the grave with them, unwritten books, unwritten ideas and inventions. You and your wife have set up a business that not only leave your kids or for your kids to have, it has their name incorporated. So as they're growing up, you're dropping those nuggets that they don't know they're getting dropped in them. Your wife is leaving those messages that they don't know are being left the same way your grandma left that for you. You didn't know it at the time, but as you got older, you look back and you're like, man. So that's how you change generations, everyone. Living in your gift, using it to live in your purpose, it's not just for you. It's for the world and those that are coming behind you. And as Cam had already stated with his wife and their business. Now, before I go any deeper, because we already told them about the name, you told them about the business and everything. Mm-hmm. I want you to give the people your information, because you know how it goes. When you see somebody online, they like, because they can see our names, they're like, let me go search for this person, silently stalking.
That's fine.
So they don't have to stalk. Can you give them your information right now so that how they can go get in contact with you? Because they might be, people don't want to lose that thought. Okay. Give them the information so they can look you up right quick.
Cool. And before I answer that, I saw some questions at the bottom. Are we supposed to be answering those?
No, don't worry about that. You keep going. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Fast. Okay. You can get in touch with that. Of course, we're on Instagram. We post a lot of free content on Facebook, but you can definitely go to our Instagram at Kinley Accounting, one word on Instagram. Our website, which is kinleyaccounting.com. Of course, you can book consultations with us. You see our team. You see what we do. You see some of our services. And we also have a free YouTube channel. So if you just type in, should be Cameron Williams, my just first and last name. Literally, we have a whole section of just vlogs as I've grown the business, literally starting day one from then to now, just kind of the things I'm learning, the things that I've kind of gone through so that people can skip those speed bumps. And then we also have all the tax and accounting tips in a different playlist so that people can kind of go through those series and focus on those specific things as well.
So the reason I asked you to do that, because I already know you, I've already talked to you, but most people think that when they see, because let's be honest, it's a social media world. Right. We see celebrities, we see actors and actresses, we see all these people that are making money and doing all this, and younger kids to older individuals. We see it and we're like, man, that's amazing. I wish I could be like them. Not realizing that everything that they need for their greatness is already inside of them. And the reason I asked you to go ahead and share that information now is because you showed the process from the beginning as you got to where you are now. So that people didn't think you just woke up out the bed and like, yeah, I'm going to do accounting and taxes. And yeah, I'm going to take care of my family. They had to see the beginning of you starting that business, creating that business, going through the steps.
Just wake up in the middle of the night. Oh, yeah, it did not start that way.
Well, you got to think. Some people might think that because you just said people will come to you last minute for tax advice. And it's like they just woke up that morning thinking, hey, I need to do my taxes. Here, can you make this miracle happen? And they don't realize that's not how miracles work. That's not how God works. That's not how your gift works. God gives you an idea. Then he gives you the means to go learn about that idea, i.e. education, school or whatnot. And then on top of that, he gives you the vision of where to go with that idea. And that's when you get to networking and meeting people. And then he gives you the passion, the push, the excitement so that you can go chase that idea, chase that dream, chase that gift. Because it doesn't just happen overnight. You just don't wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to be this awesome person. So the reason I asked for you to do that was so that you can show people can look at your content and see the path that you and your wife were on to get to where you are now, because you have to pour into your gift in order for that gift to be able to help you live in your purpose. Now, with that being said, do you have a YouTube link or anything? What's the actual YouTube for it?
Yeah, so when y'all see me doing this, that's because I'm literally like sending y'all the stuff, posting this everywhere. So the YouTube link should be in the comments. But yeah, you go on there and literally, like I said, you got the vlogs. They're all titled vlog and a number and a title. Those are literally like, hey, we just hired our first employee, or hey, back during the pandemic, hey, wow, it's a pandemic. My business has been affected like this. I'm talking to my buddies. That's part one. Part two is all literally strictly accounting and tax. Hey, here's a way to deduct this. Hey, if you want to optimize your accounting, here's a 5-video series, etc. And actually, let me take this time to give a shout out to my marketing and video guy. So my marketing guy, Cameron Montgomery, he's awesome. He's helped us kind of revamp and re-push and just do crazy numbers this year. And then all those videos that you're seeing, the thumbnails, all the fancy things that's going on the screen. That's my guy, Michael Wiggins. So, every time, literally, I think he's already put up like 5 new videos. He's probably waiting on me to call him and tell him, please run them. So like, it's literally new content coming out next week. A new series is coming out next week. So it's always being updated. Please hit that subscribe button, because when we drop the series, it's like back to back to back. When we drop vlogs, it's 5 to 10 minutes of just pure, this is what I learned. Please don't do this. Please don't waste your time or money doing this. Or, hey, you're going to have to go do A, B, and C in order to get over here. So we're just trying to help people so you don't have to hit that speed bump. Don't tear up your shocks. Don't tear up your shocks. Because I already did it. I already paid it. Don't do it.
Please, please, please do not tear up them shocks, because then you're going to have to pay that. Then you're going to be coming to Cam trying to get a tax write-off saying I told him the shocks up when he already is providing you the information. Remember, I started this by explaining how Cam is so invested in helping and giving back. He has screens up right now working on people's taxes. But not only, this guy is showing you how amazing he is. He's he's talking to us on this TV show with his phone in his hand, because I got mine next to me too. And he's trying to get the information to you as he's talking. He's dropping the nuggets on live and he's putting the jewels in the chat. I don't think y'all heard what I said. He's dropping nuggets on the line and putting the jewels in the chat. You cannot miss. So it's one of those things where when you're wondering, like, is somebody out to just take my money? We all have those thoughts come to our head. Are they just using me? Because there are people out there, they're not necessarily living in their gift. They just found a way to make money and they're trying to take from people. And those people put a bad reputation out there for people that are actually honestly trying to help you. Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
When you hear something about taxes, you're like the tax guy, the financial advisor. You're like, no, I don't want to talk to the tax guy, the financial advisor, because they had that bad reputation. But it's not our fault you haven't had a chance to meet somebody living in their gift, living in their purpose, using their gift like you have Cameron and his wife. That is not on us. Now, we got it on this TV show so that we bring individuals on that can help you get to the next level. We share their information with you because let's be honest, you can't do it all. You heard Cameron say he has a marketing guy for himself. You would think that this guy's over there doing it all because he's typing now. He's texting now. He has people that have his back. He has a network. And when we talk about network, because you touched on it briefly, Cam, when you talked about your marketing guy, who inside of, let's be honest, you're an accountant, you do taxes, who inside of your network, or do you have people in your network that you all reach out to each other for extra help or advice or something to get ahead to help the customer out?
Oh, for sure. So, I mean, if you want me to, I can kind of like tell you some of my team or some of my mentors, colleagues. So let me take even a step further back and start off with, if you're starting a business, first and foremost, you need to find you a mentor, preferably at least 2 or 3. And if you were to talk to my mom would say, shout out to my mom, I love you, Mom. I love you. But she would tell you straight up, hey, you need a mentor of both colors. If you're a person of color, right? You need one that's black, that's doing it successfully, and you need one that doesn't look like you, because we just got to face facts. It is what it is. For people of color, especially in the accounting, the business industry, as an entrepreneur, we're very underrepresented. So that's just the reality of it. Now, that's you getting a mentor. Number 2, you need a crew or a circle that's all on the same path as you. I'm not necessarily talking about y'all believe and or talk the same way, but the goals are the same. So I have about 6 to 7 people. We all are in accounting. We all kind of started our firms around the same time. Sonia, Shannon, Shanita, Sandy, my boy Gabe, who's out there. He's a Kansas City Chief fan, by the way. So him, my boy David out in Louisiana, like, we're always talking and comparing, like, hey, what trends are you seeing? Are you seeing this? Or when it's a super hard or kind of an uncommon thing, maybe this client thought they were being super smart and they kind of messed up their tax situation. Hey, have you seen this? What is the best way to go about this? Because I know the normal way will make them pay a whole bunch of penalties. Yeah. Is there any kind of way that I can do a workaround or kind of move through the rules and still be within the rules? So get some colleagues, some that are right at your same level and some that are a few, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead. And that mentor, let them be somebody who's been at this for 5, 6 more years than you. And for me, my mentor is Shanita, who I just mentioned. And then my mentor is Jamie O'Kane out in Colorado. I mean, she be whooping me. She whooped me. She whooping me yesterday. But it's all about learning, because she's like, hey, I see what you're doing, but don't do it like that, because that's just gonna make your head hurt. That's just gonna stress you out. You're gonna lose family time. So, you need to change this. You may need to modify this. My marketing guy, Cameron Montgomery. Hey, sometimes you have to position yourself like this, because if you position yourself like this, people may only associate you with taxes only, when really you do taxes and accounting. But we need to make the message uniform. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many different pieces to the puzzle. That doesn't even get into, one of my buddies here, Jasmine Addy. She owns her own recruiting firm. So when we hired our first employee, she was the one who did it. And she literally held my hand and walked me through it. Hey, what are you looking for? Where are you trying to go and be in 5 years and in 2 years? Okay, we need to find a person like this. And I'm here to tell you, in the first 30 days, you're going to know, or in the first 90 days. So by you getting out, networking, and meeting other people who are on that same path, you're going to start finding people that's going to be able to, kind of support you, that you can lean on, and that talk that exact talk. Because I've been a W-2 person. The stress is not the same. When you're the business owner, you have to be good at the technical skills. So in my case, I have to be very good to great at accounting. And I also have to be very good to great to awesome at marketing, sales, training, project management, continuing education. Like there's so many different pieces that they would never teach you in school, and you would only learn while you're doing it. So I always encourage everybody, if you're thinking about starting a business next year, or you just started because of the pandemic and you had the time or the money, whatever that case looks like, you need to get a mentor. Preferably, I would say 2 or 3, because mentors can vary in experience and life lessons. So that's one. Get you a circle that's all on the same path. And then don't be scared to lean on your other buddies. Jasmine, she's in recruiting. She still knows what it's like to be a business owner. She still knows what it's like to work at 11 p.m. because of deadlines. You know what I'm saying? So that would be what I would encourage y'all. And again, that type of stuff is the kind of stuff that I'm getting into on those vlogs. Like, what is it like to have a mentor? What are the benefits? How have they helped me? And because of my mentor, my circle, my colleagues, they've been the reason why, in 3 years, we've become a successful business so fast. And we weren't those, I think the statistic is in the first year or two, 75% of business owners quit.
Yeah.
We're in year 3 and we don't have any plans to quit, and we're not close to it. But I mean, I just give, God glory for that. And for him surrounding me with the right group of people that, were willing to just answer all my questions and help your boy.
Now, Debbie Lynn, she's letting you know it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Thank you again, Debbie, for tuning in. She's just basically saying, yes, agreeing with you that you need to have people on the same page as you. And as you can see, and I want to congratulate you, because you're one of those few businesses that were able to make it through the pandemic, not only because of the accounting and the tax side of it, but a lot of people lost their jobs during the pandemic. So you would think that would take a little bit of a hit for somebody like you, because it's not as much accounting and W-2ing that would be necessary when people don't have ways to work or means to work. But you did tap into some things about having the different mentors, and not just having mentors, but removing your biases. We tend to put up biases and block our own blessings because of what we believe is not right or should be right. You said not just the color of our skin, but reaching out to others and having mentors and people in your circle that might not necessarily look like you. Because let's be honest, one particular demographic does not have all the answers to everything.
That's true.
And you are proving that because your business has been surviving and thriving, because last time I checked, you're not just taking money from people that look like you. You're not just helping people do taxes that look like you. You're hoping to helping everybody. The same way somebody's open to help everybody, you should also be open to receiving help from everybody and not just one particular demographic or culture. Now, you touched on one thing in there that while you're saying that about the education piece, the different levels of education from your mentors to the people that your peers. You said that you talk with people on your level or a little bit higher. Can you explain to people why it's not a good idea, or if it's a good idea, to try to take mentorship from people that aren't at your level?
Oh, well, that's easy. I thought you were going to go a whole different way.
I'm going that way. I just want to hear your answer first.
So if they're not on your level, and when we say on your level, we're not saying that in a cocky, arrogant manner. But for example, so I've been a business owner for 3 years now, or 3 years as of July, so almost 3.5. And there's just a very different way of thinking and perspective and mindset that people who run their own successful business have, versus when I was a 9-to-5 person. Well, it's really 8 to 5. I don't know why we keep saying that, but when I was an 8 to 5 person, it was I'm coming in from 8 to 5. When I'm off the clock, that's it. That I've done my time. Unless you're in management, you probably go over, but you assume that they compensate you for that. When you're the business owner, time. My best friend NECA, shout out to him. He's getting married in January, so he's gonna be a new.
Congrats.
I love you, bro. But he used to always say, bro, time is so relative. And I used to be like, what do you mean? He's like, time is just numbers. We make it what we want. And when you're a business owner, that's what it is. If you work till 3 a.m. and you get up at 10, as long as you're getting the work done, it doesn't matter. But to the person who works that 8 to 5, they don't understand that because they're checked out. The minute they walk out, they sign off, they're done. In my case, I'm managing client relationships. I'm doing project management. I have an employee now, so I can't just give her work and just be through. I have to go back and, hey, let's talk about this. What did you do? Like literally before this call, I'm like, hey, I've been busy today. I'm checking in with you. What's going on? So we had like the kind of catch up for about 10 or 15 minutes. Where are you at with these? What is on your to-do list for tomorrow? Because I'm the owner. I'm responsible because it's my name that we're working under. So I have to go back and review your work. I have to make sure that I have enough grace, and some mercy if something goes wrong to be able to say, hey, let's sit down and look at this and let's learn from this. I have to do sales. So if you don't make the sales, so if you're terrible at sales, then you're not going to be making that much money. So then there's the marketing. It's just so many different aspects that the normal person, you just have to be great, well, not even great, good at your job. I don't have that luxury. I have to be great at my job, and I have to be able to do everything that comes with running a company. So I guess to answer, that's a long way of saying, so if they're not doing that, it's going to be very hard for them. They may can conceptually understand, but they don't understand the stress level. They don't know what it's like. If you don't make that sale, your grocery bill just got cut in half for the month. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different type of hunger and mindset then. Hey, as long as I show up to work and don't do nothing stupid and blow it up, I'm pretty much going to get my check every other week. And that's cool. I'm not knocking that. I did it, but it's just two different ways of thinking.
So I went down that path with that question and you answered it brilliantly, exactly how I expected. And I know you had to do it because we have Ernest Usher who chimed in and was like, you speaking, man. And the reason that is, I asked that question about not at your level, and you said it, hit on it with the concept of thinking. You brought up time. Like right now, no matter where you are in the world, like for example, East Coast, it's 8:49. Central, 7:49. Guess what? In 24 hours, it's going to be 8:49, 8:50 again. It just keeps going. The concept of time is not the issue. It's the way you think about the concept of time. That's the issue. It's the same way as you help Cameron with people's finances and taxes. Money is money. $1 is $1, 5 is 5, 10 is 10, 100 100. Cars cost thousands. Houses cost hundreds of thousands. The number and the amount of the money did not change. It's the concept of how your mind works when it comes to money. That's the thing. You hear people say the money is the root of all evil. That's not the truth. Money is not the root of all evil. It's your concept of what you're going to do or how you're using that money. That's the root of all evil. So when we go through and you just hit the nail on the head with the, as you said, 8 to 5, I was with you in that concept. People always say 9 to 5. But actually, everybody gets to work at 8 to 5, 7 to 5 for some people. When people are looking at that level that you're at and you're listening to the naysayers that aren't on your level, that's what messes with your mind. The people that aren't even at the level you're at don't even understand what you're doing. They can't even see your vision because they're not on your level. So you need to stop letting people that aren't on your level distract you from using your gift to live in your purpose. Because I'm pretty sure Cameron let people that were not on his level when he first started keeps chipping away at his head. Him and his wife wouldn't be here 10 years later.
Well, and in my case, it was slightly different. So there was some of that, everybody's like, oh, well, why don't you just work a temp job or just go back? Mine was a little bit more me and God issue, different story. But for me, my biggest obstacle was myself. If we're just being honest with it was I didn't think
Hold
I
on, hold on. You're not gonna roll past that. Tell the audience again what your biggest obstacle was.
I feel like my biggest obstacle was myself because technically I should be a 4 year. So if we're going to be 1000% real, my wife was the one who told me to start the company and I didn't do it because I was like, nah, who gonna want to work with me? Why would they want to do that? And then I'm black, so that may be a problem and I would want to help everybody. What if they don't? Which, I mean, that's a different combo. That does happen in some cases. We can't control that. But that was her idea. And I didn't start it till the following July is when I actually started. So technically, this should be my 4-month anniversary, but I didn't believe in myself enough. I feel like I kind of knew the knowledge, but I didn't have that confidence and I just didn't know. But sometimes we pray and God gives us very specific instructions. So, you do it. And next thing you know, you like, dang, God, this actually was better than I ever could have imagined. You don't say, Cameron,
You know what they say, you want to give God a good laugh, tell him what you gonna do. Now, and I want everybody to catch what he said. God was telling him what to do, but he didn't have the confidence in himself. He was basically trying to say that God was already telling him the path to go, but he was standing in his own way. And many of you might be standing in your own way of using your gift to live in your purpose. You're basically your own worst enemy. In so many words, you're sleeping with the enemy. You are your own enemy. So you need to get out of your own way so you can utilize your gift to live in your purpose. And that's why we thank Cameron and his wife for allowing them to use their gift to live in their purpose. Now, Cameron, it's been a blast. I can keep going with this all night long.
Rolling. What you got? We keep rolling. We got some questions.
So I think we got all the questions. We got the ones that we hit on the landlord, but we hit on the different types of taxes from the e-filing and everything like that. But
let me add something to that landlord one because I think he was asking more so what should he be trying to, I guess, look out for.
Yes.
So I gave you the tax answer as in when you should file.
Okay.
You being a landlord or somebody who owns property. So like in my dad's case, my dad owns properties here in the city of Atlanta. So in his mind, his number one thing is what advice hints do you have for those of us that are landlords for the first? Okay, there it is. So the advice I would have, which is what we tell every business owner, which is what I've literally been telling people all day and all this week, you need to track everything. Let's back that up. Let's make that even easier. First and foremost, if I were you, I would go get my LLC with your state because A, that's a business expense, and B, that separates you from everybody else because that makes it come across as this guy is serious. He's professional. He has an LLC registered with the state, get an EIN number. So that's another step of officialness. Get you a business bank account.
Yes.
Because they're going to say we need that from the state and the EIN and your license. Bam. Run everything through the business account. So now when it's tax time, you get to just bring me something nice and clean, or at the least I can say pull all the bank statements and we'll take it from there. We may upcharge you because you got to remember if it's tax season, it's 25 other yous, and that's not fair to our clients who've been with us the whole year. So I may have to charge you an extra, I don't know how many hundreds of dollars, maybe even in the thousands, depending on how much you got going on.
Yeah.
But as a landlord, the main thing is you want to track everything. The cases that we've seen, you definitely want to track how much they're paying you, all the repairs and maintenance, all the utilities. Hopefully you're probably advertising it somewhere because I know Airbnb is kind of the new thing to get a house and rent it out for that. So I'm sure you have cleaning, you have people coming around doing the lawn maintenance. You're going to have to pay those utilities. Any advertising, whether that's digital, whether that's business cards, print, signs, whatever, all of those count. Maybe you bought supplies because you're going to go in yourself and fix things. The insurance for the house, all of those different things are things you want to track. So that way, when it's the end of the year, you're coming to the table with, hey, here's everything. Some people like to hire what they call a property management company to kind of handle that for them. Some people just do it on their own. Either way is fine. Us as the accountant, we really don't care. But that's what I would suggest you do. And as a matter of fact, since I have it on this other screen, I'm literally going to read you. We would call this in Atlanta putting you on free game. If you're a rental property, this I'm gonna literally read the categories you need to be tracking: advertising, auto, cleaning and maintenance, commissions, insurance, legal and professional fees. That would be like if you got a lawyer, paying an accountant, any consulting, any management fees, the mortgage interest, repairs and maintenance, supplies, any taxes like for the property, utilities, depreciation. You need to track how many days it was rented, the total amount of income. All of that stuff matters. Or to go into even more detail, you can even do something like your car and truck expenses. You need to be tracking mileage. Please, y'all, track your mileage. Get Mile IQ. It's like $6 a month. It's going to track your business miles. If you do that, that unlocks a whole different set of deductions. But you have to have a written log, or the IRS on our tax software will literally say you can't take it because they didn't put it. So do that. Contract labor, contractors. A lot of people, to get houses painted or build roofs. Insurance, office expenses. What else is on? Any taxes and licenses. Some people, you had to get a license in order to be in this building or whatever. Yep. Meals, track your meals. And by the way, meals only count if it's for business. So if you're going out with a client, taking the team out, the team has to work late because it's tax season. So you're giving everybody pizza so they don't starve to death and mess up on tax returns. Payroll, all of those different things, cell phone bills up to the amount that's used for business. All of those things I just told y'all, if you're a business owner, you need to be tracking that. Point blank, period, end of story. When you don't, I'm telling you now, you're going to pay more taxes.
Well, as you see, Elvin said, thanks. You just dropped some major jewels. But before you get out of here,
okay,
I need you, because I know you got a lot more. And I'm personally going to reach out to you. But can you please, one more time, give your contact information to all the viewers?
Oh, no problem. Sure. So again, thank everybody for coming. Hopefully you were able to learn something for free. We do a lot of the same content on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, on our LinkedIn, on our Instagram. So there's that. If you want to be able to get in touch with us, we do diagnostic reviews. So let's say you have you've been doing your own accounting and you like, it's time to pass it on. We get that too. Like, I've been doing it on my own. I'm tired of freestyling. Come to us. We can review it for you and then give you some next steps. Or if you're new, most of the time we're going to give you we would suggest booking a consultation for 1 hour. So that way we can, all the stuff I just said in this call, by the way, is what would have been said in that consultation, which is paid. So y'all literally just got a free consultation. But those are the things we will go over. You can book that on our website. Our website is kinleyaccounting.com. In terms of the YouTube channel, where we go over a lot of these different things, but more specifically, like, what do wages look like? What is the meal deduction? That's on Cameron Williams. Just search my name. You'll see my picture, probably with some sunglasses on because there were some old pictures. You'll see those, and it literally has it broken into vlogs as well as all the tax and accounting tips. And like you see here, all this information is the stuff that literally people pay me to tell them. So I'm telling it to you guys for free because right now we want to help people. I kind of had a challenge for myself that I didn't know I was going to do called helping 100 people. And I think I'm at like 94. So this is what we're going to do. We just want to help y'all. So hopefully y'all were able to take something from this. I literally read it straight from the tax software, all those different expenses that you can keep track of. Hopefully that's it. I'm trying to squeeze everything in to make sure y'all got it.
Nope. We appreciate all of that you have gave us. And remember, go to the YouTube, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, because all this information that you're dropping is wonderful and we appreciate it. Now you do know This is just the first of many. We're going to need you back on this show to drop more jewels and nuggets, and because you said it's always changing, so we're gonna want to talk to you some more and get some more updates.
Yeah,
but
now don't get me in April because I told you everybody gonna be.
Oh no, we won't bother you in April.
I'm like, oh
nah,
snap!
I wouldn't do that to you. Nah, brother. But again, Cam, I appreciate you for coming on. I want you to hang in there with me. Because I want to talk to you a little bit in a few minutes. But again, thank you for coming on. And like we always say, we're going to see you on the other side, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Now, I don't know if everybody watched and paid attention. If you're not, go back, rewatch it. You can watch it on Facebook, Billy Graham Jr. 2.0. Go to YouTube. It live streams every Thursday at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern on my YouTube, Billy Graham Jr. 2.0. Like, subscribe, share. Don't just keep these nuggets and jewels to yourself. Share it. Pass it out with other people. Have them keep tuning in every Thursday because we're going to have a different business influencer or a different personality that's going to show you how they're using their gift to live in their purpose because we want to help you live in your purpose. So continue to tune in. Thank you again for watching. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday. And as always, continue to use your gift to live in your purpose, with purpose, on purpose. I'll see y'all next week.